Hey folks, how you doing? Good to be back with you. This is my first vinyl video for this new year of 2020, and I'm excited for another year of vinyl digs and vinyl finds and vinyl videos and bringing home fresh vinyl to discover on the turntable. I'm really looking forward to all that again, because last year produced some pretty good vinyl finds and scores. And I'm hoping just to keep that momentum going into this year. So let's get this year started with the latest finds. A decent stack here. So we're going to start with Geddy Lee, My Favorite Headache. Now, back on Record Store Day, Black Friday, this is when this originally came out, I was looking to score it back then, and unfortunately my store did not have it. Now, fast forward about a month and a half or so later, I take a trip to San Francisco. You know, I'm out there taking pictures and going sightseeing, and at the end of the day, I decide to hit a vinyl store, and boom, there it was. I was so pleasantly surprised to see it, and there's the hype sticker and Record Store Day sticker. So, for My Favorite Headache by Geddy Lee. I remember this came out early 2000s, and I heard the song My Favorite Headache on the radio. Thought it was actually a good song. I'll show you the gatefold. It's not much of a gatefold, but there we are. Yeah, I remember hearing it on the radio, thought it was a decent song. I never went out and actually bought the CD, and so I never heard the whole album. So this is the first time I actually heard the whole album, and I really do like what I hear. It's a good album. And now I wish I had bought it on CD. Though people tell me the mix on CD wasn't to their liking. They said the mix on this is a lot better. And it is a good mix. There's a custom label with the album artwork and just the names of the songs on the other side. Really good find. I'm really happy. It's a nice pressing. It's a 2-record set. There we go. And even came with this poster insert, which is actually pretty nice. Little poster insert that comes with the album. Some cool stuff there. So real nice to see that. And this is a good album. Really good album. I mean, there's some, a few songs kind of sound like Rush, and then more melodic songs that you probably wouldn't catch Rush doing, but obviously Geddy Lee wanted to pursue some other influences that you probably can't do in Rush, so he did it on this album. It's a really cool sounding album, and of course it does have some extra tracks. Oh, wrong side. there's a side with the fancy schmancy label. There's a few extra tracks on here, I guess that the CD didn't have. They're pretty interesting to listen to. What were they called again? It was an instrumental of the song My Favorite Headache, and an instrumental called Home on the Strange. So really, really nice album. I'm glad I scored it. This is going to go next to all my Rush records. I'm really excited now to have this. Something I was really hoping to score a few months back, and I got very, very lucky and found a copy that wasn't sold back on Record Store Day and jumped all over it, and now I got my greedy little hands on it, and I'm very, very, very happy. This is a killer album. Good solo album by Geddy Lee. Maybe he'll do another one. Who knows? All right, let's move on. This is a 10-inch record, and a very cool one, too. It's from U2, and it's called Another Time, Another Place, live at the Marquee, London in 1980. It's on 2 10-inch records, and I love this. It's an early days recording of U2 back in 1980, before they were the big international pop stars. They were just this little band out of Dublin trying to make it, and they sound hungry on this record. They sound hungry, and these are the inserts, the album inserts that came with it. And just lyrics and so in the back, and here's the other one. Nothing really that special to look at, but I really love this 10-inch record set. It is really nice. Some great songs on here. I really like the early days of U2. I don't spin them as much as I should, but I do like them. This is even before Sunday Bloody Sunday was even a hit. So there's just to show you what the labels look like. And it's a good live recording. It's a really good live recording. And you could, it has that small club vibe in the sound mix, which is really, really fucking badass. So it is a good live recording. Now I think about it, I don't really have any official, I mean, there's Rattle and Hum, there's Under a Blood Red Sky, I got those records, but as far as like really early YouTube live recordings, I don't have much on vinyl, so that's what made this such a good find. Here's the second 10-inch record. The very last song, or very last side of record 2 is a selection called Another Time, Another Place. And what it is just an interview recording with Bono as he's recalling what it was like to play this concert back in the day in 1980. And he's just going over his memories of it and doing it in a storyteller's type of way. And that also is, I mean, it's not music, it's just him talking for an entire side on the record, but it's real interesting to listen to. So we've got the Ocean, 11 O'Clock TikTok, I Will Follow, the Electric Company's on here, A Day Without Me, just to name a few. Really good live recording. There's the track listing if you just want to check that out. So glad I scored this. I love getting these obscure records from U2, and especially live material. I'm not a big fan of like grabbing every remix that they put out, but I do love these really rare, random live recordings, especially if they're done well. And this one sounds really good. So a big addition to the U2 collection. I'm so glad I scored this. So glad. All right, another one I'm glad I scored, and this has been my obsession lately, is Abba Gold, the greatest hits, remastered, all their classic songs remastered, basically. You know, Waterloo, Dancing Queen, Winner Takes It All, just to name a few. And it sounds really great. They remastered all those classic songs, and I believe this is on the Polydor label. Yeah, there you go, Polydor. So sounds good job on the remaster. These songs sound brand new. That's what I love about remasters. You get to rediscover everything. And like I said, I've been on an ABBA kick lately. Here's the second record here. I've been on an ABBA kick lately because, you know, some of the people I watch here on YouTube who like to do reactions of songs that they're listening to for the first time, a lot of them are discovering ABBA for the first time because these are young people in their 20s who've never heard of ABBA, heard of the name but never heard of the music. And they're discovering all these songs for the first time, and they can't get over how amazing the music is. Just when you think they're going to hate it because they're young, you think they're not going to get it, but oh, they get it and they love it. And it's been infectious, and it's really caused me to go on an ABBA obsession. I've been buying a lot of ABBA stuff lately, so I'll show that a little later. But ABBA Gold sounds fantastic. These are great pop songs. Lately, you know, now they saying you're a pop music artist is almost like is a dirty word now, but back then it was still cool, and they were really great writing pop songs. Okay, let's move on. The Talking Heads live at the Worcester Festival, July 4th, 1982. I believe that's how you pronounce that. If I said it wrong, I apologize. I'm great at butchering names. So this is another great record. It's a bootleg, but it is a pro recording, and it sounds really good. And capturing a live show from the Talking Heads back in '82. So again, kind of somewhat earlier years of this band too. There's the label. And what they captured was a really fantastic live performance. I mean, of course, my favorite live record from the Heads is Stop Making Sense. I'm just in love with that album. But this is a really good and very interesting listen as well. Some great songs on here: Psycho Killer, Once in a Lifetime, Life During Wartime, Take Me to the River, Houses in Motion. Really good live set, pure live recording. It is a pro soundboard type recording, and it sounds fantastic, and a really good energetic set from the Talking Heads. If I can find more of these types of obscure bootleg recordings, but they sound really good, pro soundboard recordings on vinyl, I'll jump on them because they were such a good live band, and they prove it on this album. Very energetic set that they play on this album. If you see this, if you're a big Heads fan and you see this in the store, snatch it up because it's a really good live recording. I really dug it. Something I was very happy to score. Very happy to score. OMD, History of Modern. This was one album I had been missing in my OMD collection for a long time. This is an OG. This is not a reissue. And it came out in 2010. 2010 is when this came out. And I had seen this once on vinyl before, but like an idiot, I put it back. That was like a couple of years ago, and I hadn't seen it since until the last time I went on a vinyl dig. And happy days, I scored it, and not much. It's just these plain yellow labels here on both. It's a 2-record set, and both of them have this label here, this yellow label. So nothing exciting to see there. Not very familiar with the album. I heard 2 songs on here, which is the song History of Modern, and what was the other one? Sister Mary Says, were the only 2 songs I knew from this album. So the rest of the songs I had never heard before. Gave it a spin, actually. Loved what I heard. Even though this was released in the 2000s, it does have that 80s synth pop sound that they do so well. And it's just another voyage in that kind of sound. And it feels really good to have this in the collection. Since I missed it the last time I saw it in a record store, and I've been kicking myself ever since. I should have jumped on it and I didn't. Here it was again. It was kind of pricey. It was like $20, but you know, this was one I was missing, and it's nice to have it as an OG and not a reissue. So glad I scored that. That's going to make the OMD collection a lot more complete. All right, one from a Genesis artist, Michael Rutherford, Small Creek Day. This was his first solo album, and still one of my favorites from him. Though I do like Mike and the Mechanics, I really love what he does on this album. He's reunited with Anthony Phillips, who plays keyboards on this. It's a great album, actually great album. I did have this before, but this has the original hype sticker on it, and it's a promotional copy, which you can see there. And I thought that was cool, and it was only a couple bucks, so why not? And there's the insert there. Very, very great album. I really love this album, and oh god, it's so good. And oh yeah, Simon Phillips plays drums on this record, and I'm a big fan of Simon Phillips drumming. He's an amazing drummer. And there it is on Passport Records. In very good condition for a used record. Sounds great. It's a promotional copy, so it's probably early pressing of this. So one of my favorite. I really love this one from Rutherford. I wish he had continued the rest of his solo albums, kind of this prog rock, 80s prog rock sound. It sounds great on this album, but you know, I do like Mike and the Mechanics, and that's still alive and kicking. So, but really good album from him. Also found this 12-inch single from Mike and the Mechanics, All I Need Is a Miracle remix. I don't believe I had this on a 12-inch before. If I did, it was the original mix that came out in the mid-80s. So, and WEA is the label. Always one of my favorite songs from Mike and the Mechanics, but I think that's everybody's favorite song, or at least the one they know. All I Need Is a Miracle, really good song. 2 different mixes of the song on each side, and the B-side. is You're the One and the song A Call to Arms are the two B-side songs. And side A has the remix version of All I Need Is a Miracle. So very cool, very cool. Two good finds from Rutherford. I do love his solo and Mike and Mechanics recordings. They're actually good albums. All right, here we go. A live album from the band America. I think all I have is their greatest hits on LP, and I do like the band. I just don't buy a lot of their stuff. I only have one vinyl record, but I thought it'd be interesting to have this live recording, and it is a good live recording. I did enjoy this. It was actually really good. Tin Man's on here, Sister Golden Hair, Horse with No Name, Ventura Highway. A lot of the songs I like from them, so was really glad to score this album. I want to show you something I found really interesting. The person who designed the album cover, he's credited here on the back. I'll show you right there. If you could see that, is Phil Hartman. And yes, it's that Phil Hartman from Saturday Night Live. I guess before he broke into comedy, he was designing album covers. It's that Phil Hartman. So I thought that was pretty interesting that Phil Hartman designed this album cover. I think he designed the Greatest Hits album cover from America as well. Like I said, this is a really good live recording. I found this used for like $3 or $4. And I enjoyed this. I spun this a couple times already, and it's nice to just sit in the background and chill with. So, and there's that old school Warner's label I like, Warner Brothers label. Good record, very good record. I'm glad I'm putting this in the collection. Like I said, enjoyed the hell out of this, and so glad it is here. And it's that magical kind of adult rock or contemporary rock from the 70s. Well, not contemporary anymore, but I'm trying to put the label on it. And I don't want to say classic rock. I guess classic rock is what you could say, but it has that cool 80s vibe to it that I really love, and I love spinning this. It's an enjoyable record. All right, speaking of enjoyable records from the 70s, like I said, I've been going on an Abba kick. And this shows just how bad that kick is. I'll blow through these real quick because I don't want to spend too much time on them. Abba Greatest Hits Volume 2. One of many compilations you can find from Abba. And that's all the big songs. Gimme Gimme, Knowing You Knowing Me, Take a Chance on Me, Money Money, Dancing Queen, Does Your Mother Know, Summer Night City, just to name a few. There's more, of course. It's on the Atlantic label. So real glad I scored that. I wasn't expecting to find this one. In fact, I forgot all about this one, to tell you the truth. It doesn't, I don't know if it came with an insert, but it's not, it doesn't include the original insert, but it's a good copy, so I like it. Put that there. And an OG copy of Voulez-Vous. I actually love this album. I thought it would be too disco sounding for me, for my taste, but I actually like pretty much the whole album. I really can't think of a song I didn't really care for. I mean, the big songs on here is Voulez-Vous, I Have a Dream, Angel Eyes, Does Your Mother Know. It's a really good album. Really good album, and it's really old school. It even has the order form, the old school order form in it for ABBA merchandise, and announces their Canadian and North American tour, which took place in 1979, I believe. And yeah, so you could order. This is the old order form where you can order some of their merch. So that was a cool old school find. And of course, here is the original album insert. And this is also on the Atlantic label. So there we are. Really cool find. OG pressing, and it was in good shape. You know, if you look really hard, you can find these old pressings still, and a lot of them are in great shape, and they play really well, and which is the case here. And on this one too, the first Greatest Hits album collection from ABBA. Just trying to get that out of there. There we go. There's the front of it. There's the back of it. And there's the gatefold. If I can get this open. Oh, there we go. So there's the gatefold. And Just has all the early 70s great songs. SOS, Ring Ring, So Long, Mamma Mia, I Do, I Do, I Do, I Do, Waterloo, just to name a few. It's a good collection. I enjoy it. And again, the Atlantic label. You're gonna get sick of, by the end of this video, you're gonna be tired of seeing the Atlantic label. I guarantee that. And the last one I scored is their album Waterloo from Abba. Yeah, this one actually has all their first names on it. Usually when I see this press, it just says Abba. So this really must be an old school copy if it has all their names on it and then says Abba. But yeah, this one came out I think in 1974. Of course, Waterloo is a song they performed where they won the Eurovision Song Contest back in '74. Here we go. Recognize that? Great album. Great album. I really love the song Waterloo, so it's nice to have the album that it's from. So really good score. Like I said, I've been on an ABBA kick because I just love the way these two ladies harmonize with each other. The way they blend their voices is amazing, and the songwriting is really good. This is when pop music sounded so excellent, and I really love these old records. I love spinning them. I'm never going to get tired of them. I just know it. So yeah, I'm still on the lookout for a few more. I haven't scored them all, but I got a very good collection going so far. So really feeling the ABBA these days. All right, 2 12-inch singles and I'll get out of your hair here. From Mr. Big, Addicted to That Rush. It's just a promotional copy. Look at that. But really glad to have scored this. I used to love Mr. Big back in the day. I remember the first time I saw them was when they opened for Rush back in '89 or '90. Them and Rush together were a great evening of music if you're into that '80s hard rock. Love this band. It's a shame that Pat Torpey, the drummer, passed away. He was a really good drummer, and they were a great live band, so really glad to have scored that. Another great live band I've seen once live is In Excess, and this is the extended mix of Listen Like Thieves. I love the song Listen Like Thieves. So good. So we got 3 remixes of that song. Unfortunately, if you listen to all 3 of them, you'll be sick of the song Listen Like Thieves. And the song called Begotten, which is on the B-side. Very cool, and it's Atlantic label again. We're sick of saying that label in this video. But anyway, really great song from In Excess. It's one of their classics, and a song that I always love listening to. So I was really happy to score this 12-inch single with all the different remixes of it, because I think it's one of their best songs, and absolutely in love with it. Alright, that's going to do it there. That's my first vinyl finds video for this new year. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Please leave me some comments so we can just talk and catch up with each other. Let's put it that way. Alright, see you at the next video, folks. Have a good one.